Hi everyone, this is Tia Bottom with Time Marker Photography and Empowering Time Markers Facebook group and Legacy Living with Tia. I am here today with the beautiful Mary Kate Soliva. She is a special ops soldier for over 11 years and in the US Army. And in a few months, she's transitioning from active service. We met through LinkedIn and immediately became friends, and I am so excited to introduce you for Service Month of April 2021. So welcome. Thank you, Mary Kate, for being here. How are you?
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. Yeah, I'm just so grateful that we met, and what a great platform LinkedIn is to be able to meet other professionals such as yourself. And I just thought it was incredible because we're literally going to be crossing paths soon. Like we basically stroll around the same neighborhood. So it's exciting to finally meet you.
Yes, yes. So what she's talking about is I'm going to Fort Bragg soon, and she's coming up to Maryland where I am, and we're literally at the same time crossing.
Awesome.
So hopefully we'll get to meet in person, like we'll cross over at just the right time.
Yes.
So tell me about yourself and what your next career goals are.
Yes. So I have 11 years of active service, as you said, and I'm going to be transitioning off of active duty in the next few months. So it's definitely been really, really busy for me. But great news is that I got accepted into a doctoral program at St. Leo University's criminal justice program, and hopefully with a Homeland Security track, because I'm really passionate about combating human trafficking. I did it when I was stationed at Fort Detrick up there in Frederick, Maryland. And then when down here at Fort Bragg, I've been coordinating to get training conducted for service members here to talk about that. So I'm really looking to be part of the anti-human trafficking space and grow my network of those in the criminal justice field and different organizations and agencies that do that type of work.
So I know that is definitely part of your passion. What stemmed from there? How did that stem for you to want to help out with that?
Absolutely. So I was actually a graduate student at the University of Guam, and several years ago now, I can't believe how much time has passed, but back in 2012 timeframe I remember reading in the paper, and it was all over the news, that Guam had its first known human trafficking case. And that was sort of, Guam is where my family's from. It's where my husband's from, and it's home for us as well. And I was thinking, okay, what is going on here? And then I started hearing conversations from people about how human trafficking is something that happens overseas, not something that happens here in US borders. And I was like, okay, this is not the right narrative that she's going around. So I decided to sort of, instead of just doing a thesis, or in lieu of a thesis, I asked if I could do a special project. So in grad school, I basically got a bunch of about 40 university students, and we stood at the street corners, intersections on Guam, holding up signs saying it's happening, so that people at the light would say, well, what's happening? And it went from there. And I was able to meet with former U.S. Attorney Alicia Limpiaco, and also different senators, Guam Department of Labor's justices of the Superior Court, and just different people that were really wanting to know. They were curious about it. And I was like, well, we got to use this fire and passion to continue on. What was interesting for me was when I ended up going, when I was on active duty, and I got stationed in Maryland, I went with the Frederick County Commission for Women, and we were talking about establishing a Human Trafficking Task Force, which still exists today. And then when I got stationed in Fort Bragg, I found that it was something that really wasn't talked about a lot amongst the ranks, but it was something I found was really important. Too often I had service members ask me, well, we've seen it when we've been deployed, or what if we see it here, but we just don't know what to do? What do we do? And so I was like, why don't we bring in the detectives, bring in the experts, and have this conversation?
Well, thank you so much for doing that. Like, you were a pivotal person in making things happen. So thank you for being you, because I think you are a trailblazer and a world changer. And that's why I'm so attracted to you as a person, because you're amazing. So I know you've traveled a lot because of the military, and did you grow up in Guam?
I went to school there. My mom is actually from there, and my dad was Navy, so it was kind of that traditional story of he ends up on the island, takes the islander,
Right.
and falls in love with the islander. And then same thing. My husband grew up there, and I still have family there. But I decided to go to college out there, but I wasn't raised because since my dad's Navy, I ended up living in different locations.
So what are your top places that you've ever been, or top 3 favorite places?
Top 3 favorite places. I keep finding myself, well, ironic because my husband's Filipino. I'd definitely say the Philippines is one of the favorite places that I've been, just because I had the opportunity to go a few different times, and each time I went there it was for different reasons. I've been there for work, I've been there because of school, and I've been there just for travel. So I had 3 completely different experiences there, and it was incredible. I also really loved being in England. It was a father-daughter trip out there, and what I loved about that is I joke that I'm, special operations by day, but then I'm an old lady at night because I can knit and I love antiquing, and I've got doilies and oil lanterns in my house, and nothing matches. And so, but I love British TV, and I just, so I really loved being and reading books on the royals and royal families of the past. And so when I was there, it was really cool to be part of stand where people in the past hundreds of years ago have stood. I think is incredible.
Yeah, the history of it, for sure.
Total nerd. Yes. Total nerd.
You can call it, you're eclectic. You have an eclectic style.
Yes, that's the word, eclectic, and then you see Mary Kate right underneath. That's it.
So you grew up all different places in the United States, or all over the world?
So mainly the United States. So actually Maine is probably where we spent the most time, and it was kind of a running joke of there's nobody in Maine except for my family and the dog. We just Maine's a beautiful state, but your neighbor could literally be miles down the road. But it was a great place to grow up. Definitely miss being up there. It's just the cold, I can't handle the cold anymore.
So do you like lobster?
Yes, the food, and it's just, and that's what's so incredible about having that experience to travel the world, because when you're up in Maine and growing up in New England, you see and you get to exposure to the seafood and trying it, and then you go out to the Pacific, and it's a whole different experience of trying out that and everything. So definitely I see the world through a different lens, having been to different places around the world.
Yeah, it's like a rainbow, I think. Like, you can see all different, it's just amazing to me. And I love talking with people that have gotten to travel the world. So let's see, I want to make sure that I caught everything that I want to talk to you about before I let you go. You will be doing a live in April for our group, and thank you so much for doing that. And I think we're in the beginning stages, but I would love to hear you talk more about volunteerism and serving others in the community. So I cannot wait to hear what you have to say on that, because you are like the epitome of like what it is to, serve others, and you care so deeply about all different kinds of communities. And we can't even touch on all the things that you've already done. I know we've spent a few hours talking before, and you have articles and all kinds of stuff. And you have changed my life. Like, other people don't know this, but you are actually a pivotal person in the last month that I've known you, for my daughter. And it's amazing. Like, you have changed my life. So I just want to publicly thank you for that. And and that's just one family. So I can't even imagine like all the lives that you're going to touch in the future and who you've touched in the past. So thank you for being who you are and speaking with us today. And I look forward to your live. I know that you're on blog posts and you're on podcasts. Is there anything else coming up that you would like to mention?
Well, definitely I just want to definitely give a shout out to you and the incredible things that you're doing, because even with your husband, and what he's got to do for work, and you're holding down the fort and getting your daughter set up for success. It's been such a joy and an honor to get to meet both of you and letting me into your family, so to speak. And I just want to let people know that I think, as we continue on in this pandemic, and we're in these uncertain times that we don't know when this is going to end, if it's soon or not, but to know that there is a community out there and that you can play a role, and you never know if what you're doing is going to touch somebody else's life. And so I let those who are still stuck at home, who have been homebound and can't leave and get out, that there is so much that value that you can add to any of these organizations, especially the nonprofits. And and I always try to tell other folks that if it doesn't exist and you see a gap, you could be that person to start something. And I have a friend that she literally does these monthly Zoom calls to try to add to that community. So there's so much we can do, and I look forward to talking about that some more.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Is there a way to contact you that I can, for other people, if they have any questions for you? Okay, so you're going to give those to me, and I will put it in the description down below. So again, thank you so much for sitting with me today. And I know it's just a pleasure to know you. So thank you so much for being part of my life too. And for
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I hope you all have an incredible week, a month, until we meet again.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Take care.